The Last Kingdom is a captivating, fictional historical drama with incredible action scenes, likable and complex characters, and fantastic storytelling. It's gonna hook you and not let you go. With the final season now available on Netflix, there's no better time to take a look back at some of the best episodes and moments. Let's dive in. 10th on our list is Episode 7 from Season 5. Following the tragic outcome of the battle between King Edward's and Sigtrygg's forces, Uhtred's daughter Stiora is given the option of bowing to the Saxon king, or living free as a Dane. Meanwhile, the devious Aethelhelm pays a visit to a northern foe and proposes a cunning plan to dethrone King Edward, while Uhtred and Brida finally meet and reconcile their differences. In its final season, the show is truly at an all-time high as tensions rise and alliances are formed and broken. Uhtred, of course, is caught in the middle of it, but so are his children, and this episode forces Uhtred to confront the consequences of his actions throughout the show. This is a very heavy episode, but it also showcases how intense the show can be. Coming in 9th, the epic Season 1 finale battle scene. Fans finally got to see the Saxons battle the Vikings at the Battle of Edington in the Season 1 finale. With Guthrum's forces still in control of Winchester, Uhtred and Alfred attempt to drive him out of Wessex for good, although it appeared that the Vikings had the upper hand. Skorpka realizes that they made a fatal error, and he switches tactics. While Uhtred and Alfred manage to subdue and eliminate two major threats, they also suffer a significant loss. Uhtred not only loses his right-hand man, Leofric, but also his lover, Iseult. The triumph was well-deserved. 8th on our list is Season 2, Episode 4. The 4th episode of Season 2 contains a lot of action, to say the least. Uhtred ultimately marries his love, Gisela, and then joins his brother Ragnar in order to fight the Dane brothers Sigfrid and Eric, in order to save Thyra, aka Ragnar's sister. All of this then leads to a bloody battle with the warrior Kjartan, Alexandre William, who long ago murdered Ragnar and Uhtred's father, and then enslaved Thyra. The mid-season episodes of The Last Kingdom are always game changers. The episodes, which are usually filled with plenty of bloody action, always switches things up and takes a season in a totally new direction, ending the first half storyline and then building on and leading into the second and final half of the season. In this episode, Uhtred and Ragnar finally extract their father's vengeance in an exciting, climactic duel between Ragnar and Kjartan. Next up, the insane Battle of Dunholm. In this epic battle scene, Ragnar and Uhtred join forces to end Kjartan's torment after years of believing she was dead. While Uhtred and his crew attempted to infiltrate the fortress, Ragnar led the distraction, allowing the plan to succeed easily. With Kjartan and Sven preoccupied with Ragnar, Uhtred was able to open the gate and allow the other forces to enter. Fans thought it was a fitting end for Sven to die at the hands of Thyra after abusing and torturing her. Ragnar got closure for his family by killing Kjartan, despite the fact that it was quite brutal and gruesome. Finally, a family has been reunited. Coming in 6th on our list is the 8th episode in the 2nd season. Uhtred must find a way to save the king's daughter, Aethelflaed, from the Danes as he continues to assist King Alfred and gain his trust. However, Aethelflaed has fallen in love with one of the Danes, Eric, and intends to flee with him. Uhtred must now figure out how to help Lady Aethelflaed while remaining in the king's good graces. The Season 2 finale is constantly entertaining, that's for sure. King Alfred then risks his entire kingdom by marching towards the Danes' camp as Uhtred tries desperately to save the princess. The Saxons triumph, and Lady Aethelflaed is saved, but at the expense of Uhtred. The king is now more powerful than ever, and Uhtred realizes he is beholden to the Saxons and their ways. In the 5th spot, the memorable battle for Skade. In this battle, Uhtred traveled to Beamfleot to try and reclaim Skade after trading her for Theoflaed's life. When Hustin challenged him, Uhtred lured him into a field on the outskirts of his fortress and battled his forces. Despite the fact that Alfred appeared with his army, the episode ended on a cliffhanger when he refused to intervene. Because Edward refused to watch Uhtred and his men slaughtered, he ordered the march and assisted the Daneslayer in repelling them. Uhtred did not reclaim Skade, but he did put a dent in Husten's army and reclaim Beamfleot. Taking the 4th spot, Season 3, Episode 9. As his final days approach, King Alfred speaks with Uhtred about his plans for his son Edward and England's future. In addition to a pardon for Uhtred, he requests that he examine Edward. However, King Aelswith objects to the king's pardon of Uhtred and seeks to prevent it. One of the most memorable scenes in The Last Kingdom is the conversation between King Alfred and Uhtred. Two men from very different backgrounds and perspectives on the world find common ground. Despite their initial rivalry, King Alfred realizes in his final days how important Uhtred was to both him and his kingdom. Next up, we have the epic Battle of Beddenford. The Battle of Beddenford was the most satisfying of all, according to the majority of The Last Kingdom fans. Why? Because it was a location where Thelwold was murdered. Fans were forced to watch for 3 years as he dripped poison into the ears of anybody who would listen. In Season 3, his thirst for power power drove him to murder Ragnar, making him even more obnoxious. However, his treachery was quickly exposed, and Uhtred killed him. With the Danes defeated once more and Ragnar redeemed, Uhtred had reason to rejoice. Second, the finale of Season 3. Now, this finale was epic and captivating, something fans definitely won't forget. Following the tragic death of King Alfred, his son Edward is set to take the throne. Despite difficulties with Alfred's widow, Uhtred keeps his promise to the late king and assists Edward in ascending to the throne. While the Dane warriors Knut and Haston celebrate the king's death and gather an army to attack the Saxons while they're vulnerable. The obligatory epic battle scene appears in this episode, but the characters and their relationships shine the brightest. Uhtred must bid farewell to his old friend and rival King Alfred, promising to keep the land safe once he's left. One of the more entertaining aspects of the show was the dynamic between the two. Finally, taking the top spot, the last episode of Season 5. The Last Kingdom's 5th season has to be one of its best, with plenty of action and great character moments leading up to one final battle, the Battle of Bebbanburg. With the King of Scots' armies closing in, King Edward launches an attack on the fortress of Bebbanburg, only to find himself fighting a battle on both fronts. This action-packed series finale has everything you could want in a series finale. An epic battle, villains getting their comeuppance, and a beloved protagonist finally getting what he's always wanted. It brings everything together into a satisfying and logical conclusion, making the entire show worth watching from start to finish. Now, if you can't seem to get enough of The Last Kingdom, here's some shows that are definitely going to keep you going until the next season debuts. First up, Barbarians, another Netflix original, follows an epic Roman emperor's conflicted allegiances to the tribe that raised him, and the empire he's come to lead. The story takes place in AD 9, when the Roman occupation of Magna Germania leads to a battle for peace on German territory. For historical reference, this is close to the end of Augustus's 20-year reign. Barbarians is the show to watch if you want some more action-packed historian drama. Next up, Vikings. Fans of The Vikings, rejoice! Vikings Valhalla, a new show coming soon to Netflix, is being remade for the original series. If you haven't seen Vikings yet, though, it's a must-see for any fan of The Last Kingdom. The series is about Vikings, as you might have guessed. Tired of the Russian Empire, the Vikings yearn to travel west and explore new territory. As a result, young farmer Ragnar takes matters into his own hands, embarking on a journey to find new land. Frontier is next up, a must-watch if you enjoyed The Last Kingdom. Nobody expected a series about the 1700s Canadian fur trade to be interesting, but Declan Hart, played by Jason Momoa, has a compelling story to tell, and fans are listening. When the Hudson's Bay County monopoly takes over the entire fur trade, Declan, an half-Irish and half-Native American outlaw, seeks vengeance and tries to put an end to their corruption and illegal activities. Frontier is still worth watching, despite its attempts to resemble Game of Thrones with its political, power, and wealth conflicts. And finally, The Witcher. The Witcher is about Geralt of Rivia, a mutated monster hunter who travels the continent for hire until he meets Yennefer of Vengerberg, powerful sorceress. When they attend a banquet, Geralt meets a bard named Dandelion, who also changes his world, and Geralt is tasked with the new destiny of protecting the young and special princess of Sintra. Geralt must also decide whether to accept his fate or to resume his daily hunts in a world full of evil humans and monsters. The Witcher is an engaging tale of adventure, powers, monsters, politics, war, and magic. Something that The Last Kingdom fans are no doubt going to enjoy. And there you have it. And as always, thanks for watching.